Oh, I feel really weird. This feels weird. Anyway, hello guys, welcome back to my channel. It's me, Aisha Mary. I know I've been away for a long time. I feel like it's almost like that's my brand now, so let's just continue into the video. If you do want to know why I've been away, there's not any real reason, but if you do, then you can just ask me in the comments and I'll just answer. Anyway, I feel really nervous. Anyway, so this video is about things you may encounter when you move abroad, like things you didn't expect. I know for me, I didn't expect a lot of these things. Yeah, so anyway, let's get into it. Okay, so one of the main things I really didn't expect was feeling lonely. I did a whole video. I don't think it was just about this one particular thing. It was about other things, like just in terms of moving abroad and, you know, things I came across that I didn't know, and loneliness was one of the things. And if you do know me and you know my channel, then you know that obviously I didn't move here entirely by myself. I did move by myself, but my parents were already here. They had moved here almost 2 years before me. So you would think, how can you be lonely when you've got family around you? To be honest, it's not something I expected, and it was difficult. I think the main thing was just kind of losing a sense of yourself at the time. Well, for me, because I had to relearn and learn things all over again, and one of those things is how to make friends. I think a lot of us, well, I should just talk about myself. I took that for granted because obviously I have friends and I've had friends since I was a lot younger. So I didn't really think, how am I going to make friends? I just continued the same way I did when I was in London, which I quickly realized was not the way forward. It was not a nice time. I'm grateful that it was a short period of time in my journey of living here in the Gambia, but yeah, I realized you can be lonely when you do have people around you, because it depends what it is that you're looking for. And as much as my parents are wonderful, they're absolutely lovely, I still felt that sense of loneliness, you know, having a close friend, or just being able to get up and go see someone or go and do something. I didn't have that. I was very much reliant on my parents and kind of, you know, just going anywhere that they would go, I suppose, just to kind of get myself used to the surroundings. But I know that's more to do with me and who I am and the type of person that I am, because I know many other people, they don't move like that. So yeah. Another thing that I learned, or that I'm still learning, is just about me. There's so many things I'm learning about myself. Like I mentioned, how to make friends. Like, how do you make friends? Like, when you're a child, like when I was younger, right, I was the person that I used to walk up to people all the time and just make a friend. But you're so innocent. Like, I'm talking about primary school age, so I don't know, maybe from the ages of 5 till 10, 11, or maybe even further, because I suppose you still make friends again when you move on to secondary school. But it's just such a normal thing. And then I suppose you're always put in certain settings, whether it be school, college, university, work, or any of those kind of environments. So therefore you kind of naturally make friends as well. Whereas I wasn't in any of that kind of environment. I just moved countries. So I was just like, so now what? I think it would have been easier, like if I moved countries but moved into another kind of like institution, like a job with obviously colleagues, then that would have helped. Or if I was younger and I had moved with my family and then I went into school, that would have helped. Yeah, or if I came to go into some kind of charity work, that would have helped, or something like that. But I came here to start my own business, so It's just me, myself, and I, bruv. Like, so it's just like, how do I do this? So I had to relearn all of that and really push myself out of my comfort zone. So, which in turn really made me realize I'm a lot more introverted than I would have liked to have accepted. Even now, sometimes I think to myself, am I really an introvert? I still don't really know, to be honest. I do like to be alone a lot, but then when I'm with the right people, I love being around those people. So I don't know. And then it's not like I'm terrible at making friends or talking to people either. I'm not like, I can be very awkward. I've mentioned this before. I'm definitely can be awkward when I am ready, but I don't know, like I'm still like grappling with that one. I'm kind of wondering if it's just a situational thing. It just depends, because for me that is a big deal. The environment, the people, the vibe makes a major difference for me. Like I can be complete polar opposites in different environments around different people, etc., etc. I'm sure like you may understand what I'm talking about, you know what I mean. But yeah, I've learned so much about myself. I've learned that I'm not very good at being vulnerable. I've learned that I don't like to ask for help. To be honest, I knew that one. I've always known that one. And I don't like to be a burden. You know what I mean? Like, I've always wanted to be hyper independent. But learning that that is not the way forward. If you're moving abroad, you cannot be that way. You have to be open to speaking to people. You have to be open to asking questions. You have to be open to different cultures and different ways of life, and you have to be more open. So I have had to open myself up. Trust me, I've had to open myself up. So that might be something else that you may even encounter yourself when and if you ever move abroad, even if it's for a short time, even 3 months. Because to be honest, I don't know if I've ever mentioned this, I'm not sure, but anyway, I did move abroad one time in my late 20s. I moved to Italy, but that was different because that was as an au pair. I was a very old au pair. I was like 27, 28, 29 around that time. So I was like an old au pair. Did I have any friends? No. So clearly around that time I was not ready to branch out. When I think about it, I could have like gone online, because especially nowadays you can go online, you can reach out to people, you can find groups. You know, I'm really not a group person to this day. I don't go to any groups or any kind of nothing here. I'm just not that person. I'm really not. So yeah, but for the time when I was in Italy, I should have done that, because even when I was there, like I really experienced some really bad homesickness, and I didn't realize at the time that's what it was. I genuinely started to feel ill when there was nothing actually wrong with me. So yeah, from having that experience to then moving here, even though I was with my parents, and then I could kind of feel certain signs, and I thought, no, I need to sort this out. But I think it's natural. I think everyone will kind of have that longingness of missing their environment. I suppose it was my home. It was my home, wasn't it? So it was my comforts, my people, the environment, the shops, the everything, all of that. It was my reality, and that was all gone. So I had to create a whole new reality. So yeah, I'm still on the journey of learning myself, which I really quite like. Not saying that's easy. It's not easy at all. It is hard at times. But the hard times bring you to the best times. So, do you know what I mean? Yeah, so yeah. What other things you might encounter? Oh, obviously cultural differences. Cultural differences are vast. And also, another thing that I've realized is common sense is not common. And I know people say that all the time, right? But what I've realized is it's more common within your environment, if that makes sense. So within the environment of where I was in South London, you know, I had my friends and I'd grown up, whatever. Within my reality of those groups of people, the people that I bumped into, seen, or whatever, even my friends, family, etc., the common sense there obviously was common. Everyone knew what the sensing of the common was. if you get my drift, right? But you can't then take that and bring it to another place. It's not the same. So what is common sense to say me and you is not common sense to this and that person. You know, there's a whole different type of common sense. So, you know, having to really wrap your head around the fact that things are just totally different, and what you might think should be like, it isn't like. And you know, you have to be humble yourself and be like, just because something was the norm or common sense for you where you were or where you came from, it doesn't translate elsewhere. It really doesn't. And I know sometimes that is really hard to put two and two together, to put one and one together and make two. Trust me, even to this day, it's still the same, it's still that. But it has really made me realize the differences, and I don't know if that's down to culture, I don't know, I think that's just down to environment. But again, yeah, the cultural differences, that obviously will highlight certain things for you, and it can be in so many different ways. For me personally, it was, or it is, obviously the fact that my dad obviously is from here. If you don't know, sorry, I'm assuming. But if you don't know, my dad is originally Gambian, but he hadn't lived here since he was a boy or 13 and just recently moved back here. Was he 60 already? Yeah, in the 60s. So he himself, his whole culture and everything had changed for himself. So in saying that, I didn't know very much about Gambia at all, because the first time I came here was in 2017. So that wasn't that long ago. So for me, it was like, it's just very different, like the way people think, the way they do things, the religion, the thoughts behind certain things, like between me and my people, which is just very regular, was very different here. And then it has also helped me to understand a lot of things. Like, I know us as people that have potentially moved from whichever kind of westernized type of country, you know, we're always like, oh, why do you want to move over to whichever country? And it has given me more of an understanding living here and seeing people and understanding the system and everything. I understand. I get it. I get why people want to move from here and go to, doesn't have to be the UK, but go to wherever else in Europe, America, Canada, whatever. I do understand. And for me, my viewpoint is I understand it more from a systems way. And when I mention, I don't mean just people from Gambia, because there's other parts of Africa where people want to move from here and go to more westernized types of locations, countries, etc. And it's down to the way that the structure of the government or the countries are. Like, for instance, things can change at a bat of an eye in certain African countries. You know, today there might be a certain law where, I don't know, for instance, you can create your business and you have it here and etc, etc, etc. And then the next day is completely different, and they come and they take away everything that you've built. Whereas obviously in the more westernized parts of the world, it's not as simple as that, and you can't get away with things so easily like that. Not saying that there isn't a lot of corruption and other stuff that goes on over there, because trust, there is, but things are a lot easier in that sense. So I get it, but then also on the flip side, I understand why people like myself don't want to be there anymore, and we want to be more here. I suppose growing up in that system and then seeing the way that sometimes, you know, they can downtrodden on more working class lot like myself, you know, and finding it harder to get ahead, and I don't know, even just wanting to be in a different climate. It might not even have anything to do with that. It might just be like, you don't like the climate, you don't want to be there, or whatever your reasons are. Or maybe it's got nothing to do with that. Maybe you do love it there and you enjoy it, but you just want a different type of lifestyle, or whatever your reasons may be. But it has made me really understand. So just being, if I wasn't here, I wouldn't have understood that. Do you know what I mean? So yeah, those type of things that I've encountered have really opened my eyes to those type of things. Oh yeah. So just going off of the cultural differences and things, I think I've mentioned this before, just being more accepting of where I'm from. Because one thing I always used to say when I was in Britain is, I don't want to be British, I'm a British, blah, 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 whatever. But when you're not there, well, when I'm not living there, you know how I know how British I am. I am British, and I accept it, and it is what it is. I was born there. It has made me the person that I am, and I accept it, you know? Like, one thing that I have encountered is, and this is each to their own, because people may judge me and think of certain things. I'm not necessarily judging these people, but what I have noticed is a lot of people, when they move from the West and they come here, you know, they want to shed their name, they want to shed the clothing, they want to shed everything, because they feel like everything is so European. So they want to be more quote unquote African. And what I find here is that not the Africans, because I'm not African. Africa is not a country, is it? Anyway, but the Gambians specifically are more European, if that makes sense. So, okay, let me just explain this a bit more. So, for instance, if your name was Joe Blogs when you were in London, so you come to Africa and then you hear that, I don't know, African name is Ubuntu or something like that. I really don't know. I'm just making this up, right? So you change your name to Ubuntu. I don't know. I can't even think of a last name. But yeah, anyway, so you change your name to Ubuntu. So you're no longer Joe, right? Also, I don't know, maybe you used to have your hair cut short back and sides. But now you're going to let your hair grow and maybe become locks or something, or just have a more free and kind of hairstyle, rather than always, you know, keeping it shaved and etc. And then maybe instead of wearing your jeans and t-shirt with your trainers that you might have used to wear, or your trousers and your whatever, your top or your shirt, now you're going to be wearing some kind of cloth and sandals and whatever, like really stripping everything that you knew and becoming somebody different. I have noticed a lot of people have done that, and when you come here, well, specifically Gambia anyway, you'll realize that most people aren't like that. Most people are, there's a lot of females that they do wear false hair, they do wear wigs, they do wear like your average westernized clothing, if that's what you want to call it. Me, I'm always in that, and I don't business because it's what I like. Yeah, so yeah, I think a lot of people have a vision or thought of what Africa is, and the same goes for the other way around of what the Western world is. And you know, everyone's reality is everyone's reality at the end of the day, and what's right for one person is not right for another person. And we've just got to let people live, man. Just let people live. But anyway, I don't know where I'm going with this because I'm talking about things you encounter. But yeah, that's what you will encounter. You do encounter. I think the one thing for me that I would like to see more of is seeing women looking after their actual natural hair more. I find that most women, they don't really look after their natural hair, whether they want to wear wigs or not. Like, that is besides the point. But I find that people don't really understand, or they don't know. But then at the end of the day, I find that most people, especially in the West, have only been waking up to understanding this within the last, I don't know, 10 years, or maybe just a little bit over than that. So things here, it needs to filter through. But then you do have women that do, and they have lovely hair. And the thing is, here again, they do have a lot of stereotypes. So they think if your hair is long, that you're a certain specific tribe, which is not far from what certain thoughts used to be in the West, is it not? I know I thought that. I know when I was younger, I used to think black girls don't have flat tummies. I used to think black girls don't have long hair. Yeah, this is my hair, by the way. And it's not permed, FYI. It's just a silk press. But yeah, so, you know, there's still that. There's a lot of that. There's one thing that I find really funny here as well, is something that you might encounter, is that there is colorism to a point. I don't know how far it goes, because obviously I'm not within certain institutions, and I don't really have these kind of conversations with people anyway, because I'm just not interested. I'd rather talk about more positive things. But in saying that, I have one time I was approached by a boy. This was when I was working at Diamond, actually, and we had some of the employees, and I was just doing some games and stuff with them. So one of the boys, he like sells things, so I see him all the time, so I just went out to say hi to him. And then he was telling me to be careful about the white lady, and I was like, white lady? He was like, yeah, and he's pointing at the girl. She's not white, she's Gambian, but she's just light skinned. But they call a lot of like light skin, whether you're Gambian, African, whatever, white. They call you Wazungu, same way. And I was really shocked. I was like, raw. So like, that would be something interesting to delve into, actually. Yeah. So I'm not sure if there is, you know, that kind of thing. Whereas me, I think, I love dark skin tones. I don't have any problem with, to be honest, I don't have any problem with anyone's skin tone. But I've always loved a dark skin tone, you know. I can never get that dark. Once when I was in Italy, I got dark, but I still wasn't that dark. I would love to get like really chocolate brown dark. I thought when I lived here that I would get like really, really dark, but no, I don't. It just is what it is. I'm obviously a bit browner than I would be if I was in more colder climate, but I am just what I am. But I'm absolutely fine. I love myself, so that's not a thing. Yeah, so other things you might encounter. This luckily hasn't happened to me, but I know that for some it has happened. But you know, the loss of certain friendships, I suppose, when you're not, what do you call it, you know that saying, outside out of mind? Yeah, maybe. But also, is that really a friend? Or are you really friends with each other? Yeah, for me, I'm grateful I haven't had this. I haven't lost any friends, but I was always very picky with the people that I had around me anyway. So those that I had around me are like proper friends. But I have actually made some really decent friends, which I just didn't expect. As you can tell, I'm like, what? Oh my god, I actually got some decent friends. But yeah, and then also like, when I think about it, I do know quite a few people, but like I said to you, I'm still trying to grapple with if I'm introverted or not, because I'm just a bit weird. I know I'm a bit weird, but I'm okay with that. I love me weird and all, but I tend to just stick to the same type of people a lot of the time, when I know I could branch out a bit more. And to be fair, even more recently I was thinking I should, and I feel like I'm going off topic. But anyway, friendships. Yeah, friendships for me, a lot of my friendships are more like family. So I think maybe that's why I find it hard to make friends as well initially. But I'm really grateful that I haven't lost any friendships. But also I do know that if I do along the way, it's just supposed to go how it's supposed to go. Everything is written out how it's supposed to go, and everything works out however it's supposed to be. I always feel like things always work out in a positive way regardless, you know what I mean? But yeah, so friendship losses you could also encounter. For me personally, I've got really, really close with my mum and dad. I know a lot of people, you only know me as that way, if that makes sense. But it was never like that when we were in London. I'm not saying that we disliked each other or anything, but I never hung out with my parents. Are you mad? Why? No, I just hung out with my friends. Like, I never hung out with my parents. I didn't go nowhere with them, apart from when I was a child. Yeah, when I was a child and preteen and probably even maybe mid-teens or whatever, because I had to. But I never, ever, ever hung out with my parents. Like, the way how I hang out with them now is on a next level. That also could just be due to my age as well. I'm not sure. I don't know. But I also feel like being here and living together has also helped that as well. So it's made our family unit a lot stronger. Yeah. So, yeah, it's weird. It's still weird, but I really enjoy it. And I know people just know me for that and think it's probably always been like that, but it really, 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 really wasn't. My parents did their thing. I did my thing with my brethren and whatnot. I never went parties with them or nothing like that. Never. But anyway, I feel like this video is quite long. It's going past 20 minutes. So yeah, one thing I do really want to say is thank you for still watching my content. I also want to just say thank you guys, like thank you for just like rocking with me, I suppose, because more recently, I mean, as much as I haven't really been online, I've like been bumping into people and I'm still astonished that people even watch my channel, because I'm so bitty with it of late, especially. So I'm really grateful for those that are still watching my content up till now, even though I haven't had anything new for like months. And also I just want to say thank you to those that have come up to me and said thank you. Like, I'm like, that, you don't understand how much that humbles me, you know. That is big. Like, you're saying thank you to me. I'm like, oh, thanks. Like, what? Bruv, you're the one that watches me. Like, thank you to you. Do you know what I mean? Yeah, I've had people say thank you, you know. I had someone, I remember, tell me that because of my video on going to Dudu's restaurant in Khartoum, he goes there all the time. And I was like, oh, that's so nice. I need to go there myself again. I actually want to go there with my partner soon, hopefully next week. And then I had a girl I saw a couple of times. She literally was like, oh, like, I just wanted to say thank you for your content. Like, it's been so helpful. I was like, what? Really? I was like, why do you want to say thank you to me? I was like, oh my gosh, thanks. I've had some other people just come up to me and say, yeah, thank you for your content. Again, just to say, it's so beautiful. Like, it's really, really beautiful. Honestly, I'm really, really grateful. Genuinely very grateful. I know that I don't show up much, and I did more, and obviously I'm more settled now. I'm not just going about the place and exploring things as much as I used to. I'm busier with work, and I think I mentioned before, I had so many really horrible things that happened last year. Yeah, I did. Yeah, last year was very, very hard for me. Last year was hard. So there was that as well. And to be honest, I'm not really sure what kind of content to bring of late, especially because I feel like I've done a lot of informational videos. I've spoken a lot about different things here. There are obviously things that change and whatnot, but I don't really know what to bring to you at the minute. So I'm kind of in that kind of non-creative mode. I just don't really know what to bring to you. So if you do have something you would like me to do, you can always put your suggestions down below. If I do it, it's another thing. I'm just, you know me, I always keep it real. Keep it real in these streets. Yeah, so yeah. So I'm just kind of in a bit of a creative funk. I just don't really know what to bring to you. I don't really want to do more and more of what I have been doing. I'm kind of a bit bored of that. I am such a creative person that gets bored of the same. So yeah, but I also feel like I don't want to give up the channel because I do enjoy it. So I've got to try and figure out a way, especially like when I'm really busy with work. I don't have the time to record, edit, upload. So yeah, so I've got a few things I need to think about. But anyway, I hope this video was interesting, at least. It's weird because I felt really weird. I was like, what am I gonna say? What do I do? Anyway, thank you so much. I really do appreciate you guys. You do not know. I know we're still a small channel over here, and to me that is absolutely fine. I don't mind staying small. That is fine by me. I actually prefer it. Yes. Anyway, thank you very much for watching, and I don't know when I'm coming back, but I'll see you in my next video. Ta-ta! Oh, actually, before I forget, I am going to do another big video on building because I've got so much more experience now from my first video. Like, I've got so much more to say, and I'll do it with Dad as well again. So if you haven't seen that video, then I don't know if you want to go back and see it. It is way back in the archives, but yeah. Yeah, so I think I'll definitely do that. Anyway, take care. Thank you so much. I hope you're having a wonderful start of the year. Thank you. Bye.